Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Thank you for the 100 people for not joining the call.
Not bad.
So funny.
That was a great accent for that.
All right.
Bad.
So, one, what was your... You had words and everything set up. What was your thing? What were you doing? What's the plan here?
In Orcish,
In Orcish.
as 2 is chanting, he says, Brogar, this man serves the martyr and the enemy, Lady Dark Eyes. There is a war to be had, and this man is to lead part of it. Bring him back. Let him see the power of Brogar. Let us take the fight to her and take her servant. Let us wage war across Idir and beyond. Show them your power, O mighty battle fury. Appear before him and take him from her. That's his prayer.
Sorry about that. And do you can you do me a favor and roll me your knowledge religion check there, sir?
Yeah, right.
Press your check for me.
Hang on.
Oh, actually, hold on a second. You say these words. You know, there's a battle to be had. He has his part to play in it. You know, and then what was the tail end? Was the last little tag on that?
The tail end was, show them your power, O mighty battle fury. Appear before him and take him from her.
And when you say that, at first, nothing happens. At first, nothing happens at all. But then you hear a on the door.
He just walks over and opens the door.
There's shit in the way. You
Oh,
bar.
I unbar the door.
So you just unbar the door. And you open the door. And as soon as you open the door, you look out and you don't see anybody there. And then you look down and you see the fiery red hair of a little someone that you know all too well. You look down and it's been a while since you've seen her. And she looks up at you and says, "Hey, been a while."
Took your time. We have need of you.
Heard there was a war brewing.
Big one.
She kind of like sniffs the air and like looks about, almost as though she can kind of like sense something different, like something change. Vrogar's will is strong here. You've been hard at work, haven't you?
I have. So's 2.
Is there something you needed? She says, kind of like pushing through the door. I mean, she stands at only what? 3'2", has fiery red hair tied off in a bunch of knots, you know, like tight braids coming down her hair, almost like dreadlocks. The number of braids that she has coming down her hair. You know, she's adorned in pretty quality, you know, breastplate that she's walking in with. Actually wearing, like, it's clearly has seen many battles, but it is quality material that she's wearing. She has an axe comfortably sitting at her side, shield resting on her back. She makes her way into the room, looks over at looks over at 2. 2 looks at her and kind of like snarls a little bit, like, ugh. And she gives him like a nod, like, yeah, I see you. And looks down at the body and says, "Ooh, what is this?" And starts walking across the room to look at the corpse.
Said, this is our general. We need him back. Have Vrogar take him, snatch him from Lady Erebel Namada.
Yeah.
Bring him back to the Great War. Let him fight for Vrogar in the battles to come.
So you know of his taint. You can see it on him. He worships
Let's
both those
expunge
gods.
Let's expunge it.
She nods.
Let him see the power before him.
Are you sure you want this one back?
He
You know,
just
don't
nods.
answer that question yet. You've always been too quick to make judgments, too quick to act. tell you all the time, stop. Assess the situation. Learn what you can, then act. We have time. Not much, but time. Hey, let's do this instead. She reaches inside of a pouch and starts pulling out ash, like clearly from a grave. And she starts sprinkling ash over the man's body. And starts walking about and saying a prayer, again in Orcish, the common language of the three of you, in Orcish to Vrogar. As she walks about sprinkling the ash all over his body. As the ash settles on his body, you can almost see like an essence start to like stick to the ash, making it almost like a paste. And then the ash itself kind of like hardens, much like you imagine like a plaster does after it's sat there for a little while. And then it kind of crumbles apart back into a dust as this like form of like almost like she did like a stick figure of him kind of like crumbles apart as it comes back up, and that like almost like plaster breaks back into almost like a thin smoke, veiled smoke that completely takes upon the form of him. And there you see like a spectral visage of what was General Jaeger kind of floating over the body before you. And she goes, and there is an imprint, not the actual spirit of him, but an imprint of his spirit. Do you remember this spell? One. Actually, not one. Fuck. What's your first name again? Can't remember.
Are you talking about?
Yeah.
Mine?
Yeah.
My actual name?
Yeah, first name.
Not one. You want my actual name?
Yeah, she says,
Okay.
Do you remember the spell? Yeah. I was
one's name is Grishka.
Griska, that's his first name. She says, do you remember the spell, Griska?
I've seen you use it before.
Then you know you only have a couple of questions. Ask. And she'll gestures like towards the spectral image and then towards you. And you can kind of see its attention, its gaze goes from her over to looking at you.
General Jaeger, are you ready to return to duty? You're needed.
I am always ready to serve. I am always ready for duty. There is a battle that needs to be fought. Then there is a battle that needs to be won.
He turns to two and he says, bring him back.
She looks at you and says, hold on. There's nothing else you wish to ask him? Remember, he must speak the truth.
He turns and he says, by the power of Vrogar will you be brought back. Your weak goddess decided you were not worth her time. You need to fight for us, and we will fight for you. Do you have any problems with this soldier?
So you make the long statement, and then you say, do you have any problems, more or less, with the fact that Vrogar is bringing him back? By any means to return to the battlefield is a means that's worthwhile. I will return, because there is a duty to be served.
And you will do it in Vrogar's name.
I will do it in the name of my chosen. And then with that, you can kind of see the spell kind of starts to fade. And the ash, like the spectral form kind of like falls back into that almost like grave ash. And it like falls back to the ground, sprinkling on the ground. And then kind of like dissipating from where it lied on the ground. She looks at you and says, are you satisfied with the answers he's given you?
He just looks and he nods.
She pulls out a small gem from inside of her pouch and goes over to where he is and says, if only you knew the hand I had to sever to get this. And she walks over and places it on top of, like centered on the forehead of, what's his name? Of Leon. And with the back of her axe, kind of like pulling it out, with the back of her axe, she smashes the small diamond into his actual forehead. It's probably like a 2-carat diamond, you know what I mean? But like near flawless, so on and so forth, like near colorless, like smashes it into his forehead. So it's like literally cracks would have happened inside of his skull from like the impact or whatever that of what she put there. She goes, the channel by which the soul will travel. And then pulls out a couple more herbs and places them around his body. And then she starts to, she says for you guys to get your axes out and starts to chant.
We all join in chanting, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And she starts to chant, and you can feel the aura of the actual chamber changes as literally you can feel just like incredible power magic coming through here. I mean, this is not easy. Traversing this world to the next is not anything that happens lightly. You don't understand what happens in the next world. You believe what happens when you die, but you don't know. You've never been there. You don't have any memories of it. And those that you've heard of, rumors say, have returned, though you've never witnessed it yourself, don't seem to have any memory of what they experienced in the beyond. Nonetheless, there she is chanting and casting her spell. She goes about casting a spell, kind of goes about the whole process, and she comes to the end. It takes a good long while. Let me actually look up how long it takes. Is it 1 minute to cast a spell? 1 minute to cast a spell. So she comes to near the end of the spell, near the end of the chant, and then she kind of like puts a pause, like a hold on the spell, and she looks at you and says, kind of like amongst the permeating sounds, the ambient sound that happens to be there, it's growing in volume. She says, I only have one of these stones. I only have one casting of this spell. Should I use it on this man now, it means I can use it on no one in the future. Are you ready?
Daelric, do it.
She looks to two and says, sever his connection with the martyr. Attack him now! And you see two with his axe, like an overarching chop, right into his chest. Literally right where he would usually have his pendants kind of like sitting there and hanging before.
You mean Lady Arabelle?
Nope, she said the martyr. And chops into his chest. Then she looks over to one and says, sever his connection with that fucking bitch now! And with a huge
One immediately does it.
and swings the axe and severs his connection with Lady Arabelle. And then with her axe, she pulls it up and she starts chanting over her head a huge rejoicing prayer to Vrogar. And just right between where your two axes have embedded into his chest, she hits him. And you can just see his entire body getting infused with magic. So this deep kind of reddish magic is getting infused. And then one at a time, first him, then you, and then finally her pulls the axes free from his chest. And as she finally pulls that last one free, you see him like, as he finally comes back to life. His force put back, the life force put back into his body, his soul returned. He's injured. He's very, very heavily injured. I mean, he comes back on 1 health point, He's very, very heavily injured. But all of the grievous wounds that ended his life, they're healed to the point that he's alive. However, there are 3 new injuries that will sustain on his body forevermore, and no basic magics can heal. The 3 axe blows that severed his ties with his old gods and put forward the inception of the new one. And he comes back to life and kind of looks about the room, a little jarred, little changed, not knowing where he is, not knowing what he just experienced. He just is alive.
One grabs him by the head and he leans in and he says to him in Orcish, you didn't think I'd leave you, did you?
He looks at you and he gives you a smile, unlike any smile that Leon has ever done beforehand. That's a pretty toothy smile, and he says, never. And with that, why don't we actually end the session?
Oh, man.
Sorry, Naga.
Oh man! I'm glad I didn't do the this month's upgrade or whatever for the characters, because now I get to talk about Leon when I do the upgrade, either later on today, tomorrow, whenever I record it. I get to talk about it with more detail. Oh man, that has changed. Jesus Christ. Wow. Okay. At least I burned a few buildings. Oh, Anno. As for your thing, it's not done yet because they're going to get a report of what exactly happened. So as we know, there was stuff that transpired. We know
So
that
much shit went down. Yeah.
there were spies. Clearly, there were two assassins from Paradel that came here for the trader. We knew eventually that was going to happen. Well, it finally happened, and they succeeded. So even if you that guy survives and gets his message, they succeeded. So you guys don't have to. Yay! The assassins played. But why did the refugees attack? Was it because of the two assassins, or the assassins taking advantage of our opportunity? How long were these two people inside of a curse vault? You don't know. Were they here for months, waiting for their opportunity? Were they here for just a day?
We have one of them. We'll find out.
We will. And there were also the refugees themselves. Why was it that they attacked? What the hell happened? So on and so forth. All of these fun details get to play out in the the big ripple effects that happened of that trump card. But thank you for that wonderful trump card there, Mr. Anno. And thank you to Iron Monkey for the fortune's favor at that last pop.
Thank you very much, Iron Monkey.
Yeah, actually, could you do me a favor, Jake? Roll me that religion check so we see what the result could have potentially been. Just curious, what would have happened?
Would two have been giving me a bonus?
Sure. We'll say they assisted, right?
All right, so it's going to be plus two on this.
Correct.
I literally don't think he can roll less than what we rolled.
There you go.
Yeah, you got a 15 total. Do you think a god's going to listen to a 15?
Hey, I mean, a god
Hey, it was
listens
a
to
good
a 5.
speech. It was a good speech. Come on.
So no, that was great though. It played out so beautifully well. I can't believe Leon died. I was like, oh my god, and it was just because poor Tesh, poor Tesh. I felt so bad. I was like, well, just you go into the fight then. You know, I was gonna have Jake join you, and I was like, do you head towards the fires? Do you head that way? And he was like, no, I'm gonna go somewhere else instead. And I was like. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And then you go in there, and then you rolled so poorly, so consistently.
Yeah, that was a shame.
Oh yeah, You almost died.
And now I know. Yeah, now I know to never not use a spell defensively. There's no point not doing that.
I'm going to point out too that the three amigos are back together, so look out for that next session.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, I'm excited for really introducing 3 as well, because you barely got to see her so far. It's just kind of one of those. She's different than the other two. The other two are very
blockheaded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them is a half orc, and the other one's a human. You know what I'm saying? But she is definitely Hafue. No getting around how Hafue she is, and because of that, she has this kind of like. Hafue in general have this almost like ethereal nature to them because of how strongly tied to the Fae that they are. Because they literally come from the land down under. No, they come from the land where the Fae pretty much all exist, and they were the first ones to obtain magic because of like their relationship with the first ones that are known to obtain magic, I should say, because their relationship with the Fae. So it's pretty exciting. Anyways, a lot happened this session, even if it very 24 hours passed in game, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Not even
much.
that, actually.
Less than 24.
It was like a regicide session. Like you guys have an entire session with less than 24 hours passing. That sounds like a typical regicide session, doesn't it? Like, 'cause that party is 12 sessions in, and they've I think passed a week. So, anyways, yeah, beautiful. I love it. I can't wait to see how things play out in the future. Yeah, I should say that assuming everything goes according to plan for our next session, I intend for our next session to technically be the season finale of this current season, and
we're gonna level, yeah.
And
the way we get things thrown at us, I'm telling you, you want to finish the season next week. Maybe realistically look 4
Give
weeks.
it another 4 or 5, like.
What do you mean? I don't
We will, Grishka. Oh, we finally got to hear one's name.
Good old Grishka.
I know.
Grishka.
Is the Barren Lands Australia, by the way? No, the entire continent is Australia. It actually is a southern hemisphere continent that's vaguely shaped like like Australia. So I mean,
Not enough spiders.
you don't know that. You've only been in one tiny little.
Our characters haven't been assaulted and torn to shreds by
It's in
kangaroos,
Australia.
ripped.
Not enough spiders. Doesn't matter where you are.
Fair enough.
I'm not sure I'd cope with that very well.
It's not. Well, I say it's not actually that bad, but it is a lot of spiders. It's just a matter that most of them we don't care about. They're tiny or they're harmless, sort of thing.
You know what's funny is about this world, I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to have dinosaurs in this world at all. Like, if I do,
I
definitely
keep forgetting that's a D&D thing.
D&D always seems to have dinosaurs in every one of their worlds, which is weird.
Because they're cool.
They're cool, but I don't think I'm going to have.
It's like a really easy pool of creatures, of monsters that they can just be like, right, yeah, there you go, and no one can be like, that's copyrighted. You'd be like, no, it's not. It's millions of years ago.
It does add. It also adds like some cool, fuck factor, which you can do without anything.
I love
else.
it in Eberron, like dinosaurs in Eberron, how they're in there and how it's done and whatnot. I friggin' love it. It's so cool. But I think I might take like a couple. Mount? Well, I might take a couple of like dinosaurs that, as opposed to all dinosaurs, and put them in there in ways that are nifty. You know what I mean? Like,
in the ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but I don't think I'm gonna have like all the different friggin'.
Well, it would make sense that the reason I've not got a world map on me. You know the Halfling land.
Yeah.
That's like huge, lush, untamed.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking potential like.
Okay, if I made the Halfling lands the land where there were dinosaurs, that'd be like copywriting against Eberron. They'd be like, Eberron's like, wait a second.
Halflings riding dinosaurs.
Would it?
We did that. Yeah, that's what Eberron had. That's what's so unique about them.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We don't know this.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
In Eberron, I love Eberron. It's my favorite world. But the Halfling are dinosaur tamers, dinosaur riders. They're tribal people, so on and so forth. Here, they're more Fey-like. They're more kind of like how you'd imagine certain elven societies being, right? So,
Eldamar. And there's lakes and stuff, so there could easily be like a swampy, boggy, giant crocodile-infested area of Eldamar. Oh, God.
Well, the swampy, boggy area is actually the Dalelands more. That's like where there's lots of swamps and definitely there's lots of gators.
Takes after its namesake.
Yeah, there you go.
I was like, you're a swampy shithole, but okay.
Oh, okay. Well, drain the swamp, man. Come drain me. So, anyways, why don't we end? Why don't we end here?
Yeah, let's end.
Yeah, let's All
right.
right.
Nondescript end.
Why don't we have Tesh go first? Tesh, talk to us about who you are.
Hi, I'm Tesh of the Tesh Tube. You can find me under that name on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Twitter, you should follow me because I post cute animal gifts to keep up to date on all the things I'm doing. Twitch, you should follow me because actually on the 27th, I've just had to update it because of work stuff. On the 27th, my time, the 26th, American time, at 10 a.m. my time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm doing a short little charity stream because Destiny is doing this cool thing where you can donate and get in-game items, or you can actually host your own like little charity stream linked to that.
That's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool little thing, so easy to set up, so I might as well do one.
That's cool. So people donate to an awesome charity, and in exchange, you get some cool items?
Both. They get items, and I believe I get items if I raise a certain amount. But also what I'm doing is I'm having incentives like there's the ability to randomize my loadout while I'm doing stuff, or donate to make me use a specific item and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. To make your life miserable. Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, it's just like Idir. It's just like daddies.
I'll say last time this system was used, I won't be doing raids because I don't have enough people like on hand to do it. But last time I did an event with this system, we had all 6 of us were set up for it. We were doing a raid, and we were on like the last encounter of the raid, and we got someone donated for the no weapons run, only like abilities, and we're like, fuck.
That is cruel.
But the best thing is actually we made it through a couple encounters at that. We're stuck at the boss with like 3 rounds left of no weapons, only abilities.
That is cruel.
That's funny. That's funny.
So that's what I'm doing.
What, you just didn't tell us which charity it was.
Oh, the Bungie Foundation.
What is it?
So the Bungie Foundation, they have their own charity now.
Yep.
This one specifically is going to giving iPads and things like that to kids in hospitals around America.
That's cool. Yep. Anything to keep education going or distract them while they're, going through whatever experiences they are. Yep. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
So
that is a big thing.
All right, cool. Neil, hi.
Oh, hey.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good, aren't you?
Not too bad.
Oh, that's
Come
cool.
here much?
I mean, I come often, yeah.
Oh, D?
Yeah.
Maybe you could show me sometime.
I mean, swing on by. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump across the pond.
But not on twitch.tv/Daelric.
No, that's chatterbait.com/
Wow.
/Ding Cuddy.
/ Neil, and KNEE, yeah.
Great. Well, Norway's not watching this again. Hey, I'm Neil. You can find me at the Discord at Nakai or at Twitter at Nakai_. At me on the Discord because I like talking about Kingmaker stuff. I like discussing that. But you're all wrong. Rayron's a saint. You can also find me occasionally on twitch.tv/OllieRant. No, I'm memeing, it's not occasionally. Where we play D&D Yavaskir, which is another homebrew world, which is very different. And it's a lot of fun. It's 5e D&D. And we're currently playing in a game called Horn of Plenty, which involves rebuilding our village after a disaster. I'm not going to spoil anymore.
I do have to say
next week's game of this.
I do have to say that especially after watching the Regicide crew and the Back to Faerun crew, I think 5e's for noobs. Thanks, wife, for a cookie dough.
I thought that. My brain. I was like, is that just Dijon mustard?
No. Cookie dough.
Nom.
Sometimes you gotta worry. I like Pathfinder actually. I think there's a lot of different choices, and I think if I was to create a character now, I'd have a lot of fun because I know a bit more about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it would help. That like Jake obviously played a little bit of Pathfinder, so going into it, he had like this little bit of idea of like, yeah, I want to be able to take 20 on an intimidation roll and just have a flat 26 just whenever I want because Ayla Mal.
He takes a 10, thank you.
Oh my god!
He's just got a plus fucking 16.
Yeah, that's insane. But yeah, as one unfunny one says, in Pathfinder, when you're fucked, you're really fucked. Agreed.
But when you're crushing it, you're really crushing it.
I like Pathfinder more. Perhaps my biggest reason is the martial classes are better because weapons are a thing, armor's a thing. Like it's not horribly simplified like in I mean it's already simplified massively, but it's not horribly simplified.
Well, it's also things like certain spells too. Like look at the funky spells you guys used just this session. You know what I mean? Fallback strategy. Snowball. You guys use. The Staff of Curses is fun, but you can easily make that. I suppose fallback
hideous
strategy.
Laughter, hypnotism.
Yeah, some of those exist in the other game too, but I think I was just thinking of fallback strategy and the one where you set people on fire when you scare them. So. Things like that. Like, there's just such unique spells, but cool. I'm glad you enjoy the game, the system. That's wonderful. And Jake, you're around Thursday night / Friday morning, correct? For Lost Initiative.
If we're on this week,
I'm pretty sure we are. I don't think we're. I'm pretty sure.
Well, you know what Scott's like when it comes to missing streams. Am I right? Oh,
I'm on time.
I'm so laggy. That was great in lag.
I'll be here if there's a game on my Friday morning.
I think just a reminder. I think we're all still meeting an hour before the game starts instead of 15 minutes. That way we can chat about things before we go. So maybe force Mike to finish his new character because he sucks. So, all right. So, anyways, perfect. Well, why don't we get going? Thank you everybody so much for coming by and hanging out. Thank you for all the bitty bit drops. Huge thanks to Anno for the 10,000 and to Silencio for the 5,000.
And gift subs.
And thank you for the gift subs. Thanks for all the Twitch chat pool of luck, especially to Midori, our resident lurker, Van Sexel, Norga. Everybody.
Yeah, who's saving our bacon.
Thank you to Anno for killing Leon, and thank you to Iron Monkey for saving Leon. So, beautiful.
Oh my god.
All right, let's get out of here. Good night, everybody. Goodbye. See you later. Au revoir. Au revoir. Au revoir.